it's Tony from World Spider Designs. In our last video, we made this gorgeous card using Stampers Roll to create masks with our dies. If you haven't seen that video, I'll pop a link below. But in the next video, I promised that we were going to make the same card using a sticky roll twist. So here we have it, and I'm going to show you how to do it using embossing powders. We're going to begin by using our dies to cut into our sticky roll. Now normally this is the part where I say lay your card down onto your sticky roll, but due to the effect we want to create using embossing powders, we're going to do something slightly different and double the sticky roll over onto itself. For our first piece, we're going to cut a slightly smaller length so we can get the hang of the technique. Now the easiest way to do this is to take your length of sticky roll, curl up the edge like so, and where it meets the middle, just begin pressing down, score, and then keep pressing, following the sticky roll to the end. And then, as always with sticky roll, give it a good burnish. If you do have any air bubbles, just keep pushing them out to the sides. Then take a pair of scissors and just trim off any exposed sticky bits. Now we have a nice sturdy piece of doubled over sticky roll ready to cut with our dies. So I'm just going to run these through the cutting machine now, and I'll see you in a moment. So now that we've run these through the cutting machine, we just need to pop them out. And continue creating your doubled over sticky roll and running it through your die cutting machine until you've got enough pieces to cover your card. As you can see, I've been rather busy. Now that we've cut out all the required pieces, we need to remove the liner and apply it to our card. Now the easiest way to do this is to take a knife or a pin and either flick it up as we normally would when the sticky roll is applied to card, like so. Just peel the liner away, it comes off really nicely. Or you can just run the blade just up the side of the shape. And it will bring the liner up with it. So it's whichever you prefer really. You can tell I'm concentrating because my voice has gone quieter. Apply these to our card. So I'm going to crack on and do the rest until they're all stuck safely down. Now that we've got all our die cut flowers in position, we can start applying our embossing powder. Now, the reason we're going to do our embossing powder first and not our ink is that when you're going around with your blending brushes, it increases the amount of static on the card. So when you pour your embossing powder in, it doesn't matter how much you tap away with your anti-static pad, you're going to get loads sticking to the card. So we're going to apply the embossing powder first and then the inks. So take your trusty anti-static pad and give it a good tap over. Don't make the mistake I made, which was to take all the liner off and then try and put the anti-static pad on it. And then take either a pair of tweezers or your craft knife and start to take the liner off the shapes. Make sure you've got a piece of paper to hand to catch all your embossing powder. And then go straight over the top. I love using embossing powders with sticky roll. A little shake and then a tap. And if you do have any bits that have clung to the card, just take a brush and give it a quick sweep away. And now we get to see the magic. So take your hot air gun and as you would with ink, just go over the top of the embossing powder until it changes and then move on. As you can see, the card has bowed slightly. Now this is just the moisture in the cardstock reacting to the heat that's been applied to it. If you just let the card rest for a little while, it will flatten out, and the more time that goes on, the flatter it will become until it gets back to exactly where it was before you applied heat. So I've just popped down my glass mat and my heat-proof mat, so that I don't melt my poor old cutting mat, and we're just going to continue and do the other two parts of the card. So we left our card for a short while and everything's lying nice and flat again, so we're ready to apply our inks. So I'm just going to start with the pink jelly bean, and it's quite a delicate colour this, so I'm going to add quite a lot onto the mat. And I just take our brush and go straight over the embossed detail. And carry on doing so until you've got as much of it covered as you wish. And then just take a paper towel or a cloth and give the embossed detail a quick wipe. So now all our pieces are done. We just need to pop our sentiment in the centre of the front piece. And again, we're using Sandra Rushton's Positive Statements stamp set. And now we can assemble our layers. I like to use a nice silicone glue. And yes, I'd like to go over the top with it. So if you are using silicone glue, just give it gentle taps till it's level, where you want it. I'm definitely going to use the grid lines to line this up because I'm a bit pedantic when it comes to lining things up. Because we've got the silicone glue rather than the pads, it means I do have a little bit of wiggle room. So again, gentle pats, so it's exactly where you want it. And there we have our beautifully embossed card. So just to compare it to the original, because we said it was going to be our card with a sticky roll twist. So there's our original, in which we used Stampers' Roll to create masks from our dies and ink over the top. And here's the one with the sticky roll twist, where we used the same dies and the same design of card, but we used embossed detail with sticky roll instead.